Media. It has grown rapidly over the last 100 years with leaps from print to radio to TV and the internet. But when does media growth become too much? In today's day and age, media and media technology are developing rapidly. From the newest phone to smart technology in your home, media is ever-changing and quickly becoming a steadfast part of our lives. We are in the process of immersing ourselves so far into digital media, specifically internet, that there is an entire generation that does not know how to function well without it. With the rapid development of this technology, there's plenty of places for us as humans to get so wrapped up in what we're doing that we may not realize that we could be creating our own downfall. To start, the fact that we are immersing ourselves so far into the internet is a double-edged sword. It starts out as a convenience, but can quickly become a luxury because of the fact that not everyone is going to be able to access certain information. The reason why? The social class gap. People who are well off are going to have more access to the newer technology and in turn access to more reliable information than people who are living in poverty, which increases the knowledge gap. The knowledge gap is a hypothesis developed by Titchener, Donahue, and Olean in the mid-70s at the University of Minnesota. The hypothesis is that the more information from mass media is in the social system, people a part of the population with a higher economic status gain the information faster than people with a lower economic status, which increases the gap instead of closing it. This is because mass media is targeted at a higher level of education, which is difficult to gain at a lower economic status. Along with the expanding knowledge gap, the quality and diversity of political content has been largely ignored, with an emphasis on surface knowledge instead of in-depth analysis. Being able to get your hands on the more thorough and reliable information gives the rich a better position to further their goals and to get what they want done faster. This is already an issue in our society, but will be emphasized in time because of the fact that people who are rich have the power and are able to influence the media companies and the government. The lines between the public and private sectors will become blurred because of the temptation of being able to monopolize information and corruption in the government, which can give the government the opportunity to overstep and overcensor. Media that was convenient comes at the cost of many luxuries that we enjoy online today, like anonymity, privacy, and freedom of expression. Loss of these three things can happen because of the government overstepping their boundaries because the laws currently in effect are outdated and need to be revised. In order to avoid the government from overstepping certain boundaries, there needs to be an update to communications regulations. The last time this was done was in 1996 with the Telecommunications Act of 1996, which was put in place so communication businesses could compete in the market against each other according to the FCC. According to Grabber, there are three viable options that the government can take to start implementing needed reforms to the system. The first option is that the government can have a hands-off rule and let the media grow with the markets and have little regulation. The second option is that they can make the media available on a first-come, first-served basis, but this would only regulate at the federal level. The third and last option would be to let media companies keep control over their assets, but require them to meet certain public service obligations. With the first option, we would not have to worry about the government interfering with media growth because they would not have an active hand in regulating it. However, this can cause several problems with trying to establish a standard for how regulating media would be done because there are not standard guidelines that all companies have to follow. It ends up causing more confusion and having a lack of checks and balances for media corporations. With the second option, it seems like it may be fair at first because it is based on who gets to the companies first is who is able to transmit their message. The downside is that it gives an advantage to those who are already in the field and those who are wealthy enough to actually get access to the facilities. The other issue with this model is that it only regulates at the federal level, meaning there would need to be a different plan for the state and local level. With the third option, media companies are able to retain their facilities, meaning there is still a favoritism for people within the corporation and for those that have the money to buy their way in, but are required at all levels to also provide service for the public, which can help break up the social class gap. This option would be the most advantageous for a society in the long run. This is due to the fact that the other two options would either A. not have enough regulation, which means that there is a lack of checks and balances, or B. give the advantage to the rich who have the ability to access the resources before others in the economy. Either way it goes, the policy for communications needs to be revised because it's not efficient at dealing with existing problems, let alone problems that may come along with these newer technologies. It's like putting a band-aid on a broken bone. While it's amazing that we as a society are advancing further in media, perhaps slowing down on the development may be a good thing. It's worth the time to make sure that there are laws in place that do not allow too much power to fall into the wrong hands, so that our future does not look like a nightmare dystopia.